Hey gang, Ronan here. As you can see in this game, we've got Segaby playing the Tier 7 Premium Commonwealth Battleship Yukon. This is a ranked match. The map is Trident. The mode is Domination. Matchmaking, well, it's going to be interesting. And as is always the case, it is generally speaking not the ship so much as the player behind the ship. Now I know that Segaby had a really nice game here. But beyond that, don't really know a whole lot of the particulars. So we'll watch this unfold together. This is my first viewing, so you'll forgive me if I miss anything important. I'll try not to. Always interesting to see the way that a team distributes itself during a ranked match. I thought the Akatsuki might head toward A, maybe with one of the Scharnhorst, but looks like Akatsuki's going to move to the center. And New Orleans looks to be heading into the cap with Vesteris. Now that can work as long as New Orleans doesn't get detected. If New Orleans gets detected, of course, the enemy ships can begin hitting him with shells and resetting him. Now the bad guys obviously already in C, they've almost got that secured, and they seem to be sending a contingent to Alpha as well. So they've split their force. Now there can be a nice concentration of fire when team is kind of all together like this team is right now. But when a team is bunched up like this, that can also mean that they're susceptible to torpedo attack, and they are dealing with that possibility. And specifically, I think the big threat here is probably the Z-39. Segaby is detected. Lishkovitsa sitting at about 2 o'clock. Segaby gets a broadside shot on the Munchen. Looks like those shells might be a little behind. Yeah, just a hair. Now, what can I tell you about these guns? You've got 3 turrets, each with 3 barrels, so you've got 9 guns. These are 381s. They hit pretty darn hard. Base reload 31.5 seconds. The Sigma is 1.9, which is really pretty nice for a Tier 7 battleship. Max dispersion horizontally 217 meters, max dispersion vertically 130. The shells themselves, HE does a max of 5,300 damage with a 34% fire chance. And the AP just, that's really nice. The AP, the AP 11,900 max damage. Overmatch 26 millimeters. Nice guns. Really about on par with the Gneisenau, actually. Just maybe a little bit more accurate. And the Gneisenau also has torpedoes. Akatsuki, well, he just got blapped by the Scharnhorst B. The bad guys have a 2 cap to 1 advantage. Segaby's putting shots out on the Gneisenau, but Gneisenau's pretty well angled. I think it's really time to either turn around or, I think you gotta, start turning. Just gotta come to port. I think if you move to starboard, you're giving broadside shots to the bad guys. Right now, you're only broadside to the Gneisenau, and if you're able to finish him off, then that threat is gone. But right now, if you turn to starboard, you're going to be showing broadside to Colorado, Scharnhorst. Nice shot. And potentially torpedo strikes as well. Gneisenau starts a fire on Segaby's Yukon. Yeah, that's unfortunate the Akatsuki got himself caught there. The enemy Munchen, he's putting shells out repeatedly on the New Orleans. New Orleans, I think he's just got himself in a bad spot. There are torpedoes like I was talking about. It looks like Segaby might be able to outrun them. but I don't know about the battleship behind it. New Orleans does get sunk. Bad guys still have a full complement of 7 ships. Good guys now down to 5. Munchen maneuvering to try and avoid getting lapped here. Got to watch out for torpedoes. There are a lot of torpedo threat here. And Segaby looks to try and finish off the Gneisenau as he makes his full turn. And it cost him a lot of HP, but he has made the turn and gotten... Oh wow, all those shells fell short. That's... What can you say other than I hate it when that happens? I don't know that I would come back this way. I think I probably would have... Well, no, I think actually, looking at it again, nice shot. This is probably the smart thing. If you turn all the way around now, you've got half the enemy team facing you. And the bad guys now have lost a ship, which that'll help a little bit.
Torpedoes, direct front.
Scharnhorst leading the way. He's really putting himself out there. Now, one real solid disadvantage of being all grouped up like this, besides the fact that you're making it easy for the torpedo ships on the other team, is nobody's going to be able to get a shot on anybody. The bad guys can all just angle to one ship and be angled to everybody. So it looks like the Z-39 is now in the Bravo cap. Segaby puts shells on Lishkovitsa and finishes him. Nice shot. Catches him. He's not able to hide before the shells get there. Javier is pushing in. Munchen's torpedoes take out the Scharnhorst. Good guys are down to 3 ships. Yeah, this is a stressful, stressful situation for our hero. But he says, I'm not worried. Citadel's the Munchen to death. Javier makes a YOLO rush. Here come those torpedoes. And I think we're going to be dealing with some damage saturation here, but he survives the attack. I mean, all those torpedoes landed. He does survive the attack, and it looks like maybe secondaries might get him. No, main guns. And rather than stay engaged, our hero decides, you know what, I'm going to use this island here for something and put a big chunk of granite between me and that Scharnhorst. I think that's probably a really good idea. That's kill number 4 for our hero, if you're keeping track, and suddenly both teams down to 3 ships. Now, I don't want to brag about Segaby or anything, but that's a pretty solid start. Z-39 has managed to get himself spotted. Not quite in secondary range to Segaby, but the Scharnhorst secondaries are going to work. Both teams now down to 2 ships. And that Colorado, he has, boy, he has really let his team down. Nice. You are the last hope, Segaby. Now, is that Z-39, is he going to get himself detected again? He doesn't have to. There's enough time on the clock where he could just hide. Segaby says, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and head towards this cap. It's a dangerous spot to be. Z-39 can spot him. Colorado, if he ever decides to get into the game, can hit him from, well, probably over half the map away. And really all you have to do is just keep resetting him. Segaby starts spinning his guns back the other way. And Colorado does put a volley out. But Colorado is not known for being particularly accurate, and at that kind of range, even less accurate. Segaby says, that's fine. You just do your thing. Let me get the rear-facing guns, get some awesome dispersion. Pick up a little chip damage. Only need to do that a few times. As Segaby angles against the Colorado shells. And it's almost certain that there are torpedoes on the way now.
The ship is on fire.
And Segaby, I think, does something very smart. It looks like Z39 is committed entirely, and Segaby has said, you know what, if you're going to do that, I am going to blap you with some HE. Show me a little side, I will make you pay for it. And there's the Kraken unleashed in a ranked match. That does not happen very often. Segaby says, I got to try and stay in this cap. Throws it in full reverse. He's turning, trying to stay in the cap circle. That's great tactical awareness. Just see whether or not the ship can stop in time. 15 seconds to go. 13. Nope. Really close. Keeps it in reverse. Really needs to nose back in. Still a lot of time. Almost 9 minutes left in the game. So 35 seconds from now, it'll be 2 caps to 1. And over 8 minutes remaining in the match. I don't think Colorado is fast enough to spot Segaby before Segaby secures this cap. This is an interesting game. And, you know, how about a shout out for some really solid play? Great job, Segaby. And now, where to go? I'm guessing Segaby's going to probably head west-southwest, but we'll see. Kind of toward the A cap. I might angle a little bit more south than he is right now, just to minimize any damage from Colorado shells. With only 21,000 HP right now, a really good volley from the Colorado could put him out of the game. You can see that Segaby has switched back to AP. And let's hope the Colorado, and he does. Colorado fires, gives his position away, and that's too big a lead. And Segaby is able to get a broadside shot on the Colorado, and Segaby angles up immediately and does 6,300 damage to the Colorado. Now there's still 7 minutes left in this game. Colorado's got a lot of HP, but you know, looking at the Colorado, I don't see any camouflage. I didn't see any signals. We'll get another look here in a second. I see some flags, but no signals. Now that is often the mark of a player who maybe is not as conversant with the mechanics. Nice shot of the game as Segaby continues to try and stay angled. He keeps his nose this way a little bit. I think I'd probably angle a little bit more than he is, honestly. Try to keep that under 30 degrees, but Colorado looks to be firing HE, trying to start fires, and is still firing ahead of Segaby. And Segaby says, that's fine, you just keep doing that. 6 minutes, 24 seconds left, but you can see the scoreboard, 732 to 932. Segaby's in a position now where he really has to finish this Colorado because there's just not enough time left. The bad guys, well, maybe. It's going to be close. And that time the Colorado's a little bit more on target. Ooh, another really solid shot.
Our victory is in sight.
And you can see the Colorado's teammates are a little concerned. And I think rightly so. And Segaby pushes forward just enough. He loses sight just ahead of his guns being reloaded. And Segaby says, that's fine. I'm going to get in this cap circle. I'm going to keep you from getting any more points. And I'm going to have probably 3 minutes before the Colorado could get into the Charlie camp. And then it'll be every 6 seconds, what, 12 points? Something like that? No, 18 points. And that might be enough. Down 156 points. And that number is going to continue to drop. Colorado, I am sure, is headed for Charlie, but Colorado is very slow. Max speed, probably what, 21 knots? Somewhere in that ballpark.
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
And we know that the Colorado player did not mind sailing broadside. And he had angled himself kind of southerly. He's going to have to come north a little bit to get to Charlie. Segaby says, that's fine. I will angle out. I've stopped your points. And if it takes another couple of minutes for the Colorado to get into that Charlie cap, I think that'll be enough. 100 points separate them, over 4 minutes to go. Segaby can now, if he wants, go nose in, maybe even switch to AG and try to finish the job. But either way, I think that won the game. Really good job, Segaby. So, take a look at and Segaby's going to be able to reset this cap here. Colorado must have fired, right? What was he firing at? 3 cap defenses. That cinches the game. That does it right there. Colorado, that team's not getting any more points. Good guys only need 40 points, and this is over. That'll almost certainly reset the cap again. And that's it. That is the ball game. Great job. Really great job, Segaby. Way to save it for your team. Magnificent play. Those of you joining me, thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed it as much as me. I'll see you next time.